You know, I'll never get tired of a good old time travel movie. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Don't Let Go. I really do appreciate it. And if this is your first time finding me and you want my honest opinion on movie reviews, trailer reactions, entertainment news, or anything I think is cool, or if you just like this video or the review, please right now click on that subscribe button and also the bell so that you can get all of my content. Don't Let Go is a film that I was really looking forward to the first time I saw the trailer, the first time I reacted to it. It piqued my interest. It caught my attention. I was saying to myself, I like the cast. I think this film is going to be great. But coming up closer to the film's release, I started to lose faith in it. I don't know why. I can't give you a reason why I felt that way, but I just kind of started changing my mind. Like, it's going to be okay, or I bet the ending is going to be horrible, just something like that. Now, this film is being written and directed by Mr. Jacob Estes. He's not someone that I'm too familiar with, but when I looked at his filmography, he put together The Details that came out in 2011, Mean Creek 2004, and a short film called The Summoning in 2001. Never heard of those films, but that is this gentleman's body of work. But what is Don't Let Go about? Well, after a man's family dies and what appears to be a murder, he gets a phone call from one of the dead, his niece. He's not sure if she's a ghost or if he's going mad, but as it turns out, he is not. Now, the first thing I liked about this film is it comes in at about an hour and 43 minutes, so it's not that long. It kind of flies by. But the film does not waste time to get things going, and it kind of sneaks up on you. As I'm just watching this thing, sitting in my chair, looking at the screen, very relaxed, let me add, I just said to myself, oh my goodness gracious, the plot has already started, and I thought we had a good 20 minutes to go. And so I just like when a film just gets to the point and does not waste any time. The next thing I love about this film, and it's probably the best thing, is just David Oyelowo. He is a fantastic actor. If you did not know that already, you should know. He was in Queen of Katwe, and he was also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Selma, that was put together by Miss Ava DuVernay a number of years ago. His performances were good in those films, and it is even better in this film right here. It is the best thing in this film, hands down. The way he was able to emote, the way he was acting, everything about him, I felt his pain. I wasn't able to empathize necessarily, but I was able to sympathize, just because in my family, I've never lost a close family member. And to all those people out there that have gone through that, I'm very sorry for your loss, and I pray for you, and I hope everything is just, you're going to be okay. But after seeing him in this film right here, my heart shrunk just a little bit. And I know this is just make believe, but he was freaking fantastic. Hands down, his acting, his performance was the best thing in this movie. Surprisingly enough, my second most thing that I liked about this movie was Storm Reed's portrayal as well. Her name was Ashley. She did a great job too. Now, she was in her last film was A Wrinkle in Time, coincidentally done by Ava DuVernay as well. She knocked Selma out the park, but Wrinkle in Time was trash. I just really wasn't feeling Storm Reed in that movie, but I was feeling her in this movie too. These characters are reacting the same way I would react to the situation if I was in their shoes. And at least for me, when I'm able to experience that, it just makes the whole film that much better. Also, one thing that I love is, David Oyelowo, and he's Jack in this film. He is a detective, and I just said Storm Reed, Ashley is his niece. Their relationship, their dynamic, their chemistry, the bond is just so strong. It will never be broken. I don't see how that's just possible. I was just kind of hoping like, man, I wish that, in this film that this was your daughter, because y'all just gel so well. Y'all just mesh so well, and just seeing them get along and laugh too, know, each other. I mean, there was one point to where they was in a diner, you know, eating their food and they're just, you know, conversing with each other. And they just pulled out like a piece of paper and a crayon and was just kind of like doing this little game. It was just kind of like an inside joke or this inside relationship that only those two have in the entire universe. No one else can just be duplicated. And I just felt that was beautiful because, you know, relationships are important. You know, those little gems, those little things that you just have with somebody else that, you know, no one else can understand. That's what these two had. And it was just, I was going to say it was breathtaking. You know, it just wasn't that good, but it was damn good. And I really did like it. Now, with this film right here, also dealing with time travel, this film is similar to, I was going to say Time Frequency, which came out in the year 2000 with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Sorry if I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that name. And I really did enjoy that film. And this film right here is similar to that film. Just funny how they recycle films every 15 to 20 years. It's similar to that film, but it's different. I'll tell you which film I like more towards the end. But you know, they're both good in a sense, but I like the different perspective that was presented to us in Don't Let Go. While those films are similar, it's quite different from Frequency, because while that film, in my opinion, had more to do with the past, you know, you're going back in past, so you're talking to the future. This film right here, Don't Let Go, was more on of talking, you know, the main plot through line was in the future, speaking throughout the past. Now in the Frequency, they was doing it through a handheld radio, or some sort of radio, and that kind of makes sense in, you know, the year 2000. I mean, of course, there were cell phones and stuff like that, but of course, they wasn't as prominent as they are today. But today, they're doing it in a cell phone. And I like everything with the time travel and the time lapse and the certain rules that they set up in this universe that they follow and don't break. Because when you have a film like this, you know, go ahead and set the rules of the universe in the beginning and then don't break them. You know what I'm saying? Just stay consistent. And I felt the film did that, and that's just one of the things that I love. I mean, just some of the things like, okay, is, you know, you seen the trailer, you know, Ashley called Jack in the film. Can Jack call Ashley? Can they do a FaceTime or something? Marco Polo, can they tweet each other, DM, things like that? I'm being silly but serious at the same time, and this film addresses that, and I do like all the rules that they set up, and you know, they did stay with it, and you know, that's just something that I appreciated. And just when you're going in and you tying this time lapse, this time travel with David Oyelowo's performance, like the way he is reacting, it's like, I mean, it's stellar. Like, seriously, like I read in the synopsis at the very beginning of this review, he doesn't know if he's going crazy or if this is just some crazy event that he has no way of explaining to anybody. And how can you react just like, hey, guess what? You know, my niece that died a couple of weeks ago, I just got done talking to her on the phone and she's alive in the past. I mean, people are going to think you're freaking crazy, retarded, you know, just insane. You can't just go around and speak that way to people, or you're going to seem nuts. And just like I was saying, the way that he was reacting, the way that Ashley was reacting as well, I will be reacting the same way. He's not just a smart man, you know, he's a smart man, but he's also a detective. So he has that mindset, and they use that, you know, within his character development to help flush out the story and, you know, to tie everything together to just make things more cohesive and make sense for you as an audience viewer, you know, because you don't want, when you're seeing a movie, you don't want to be watching something and you're just saying to yourself, oh my gosh, this character is dumb, this character is silly, why are they doing this, why are they doing that, this makes no sense, I'm clocking out. No, while I was watching this thing the whole time, I said, seriously, about 5 or 6 times I was at the edge of my seat because I was just liking the pace of the film, the way the sequence of events, how everything was just turning out. It was pretty much, you know, movie perfection for the most part, and I was loving it. I also love the score in this movie. That was probably the third best thing that really did help boost the emotion when characters are going through this crap bag of event, you know, of murder and mystery and things like that. But that music really did come through. I loved all that. And as far as all the thing, one more thing about the trailer. The trailer is very misleading, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Just trying to give you things that you didn't expect. You know, the timeline, the order and things take place. You know, I was liking all that, and just like the little, I don't necessarily want to say Easter eggs, text, but some of the things you have to read the wall and pay attention to this detail and that detail, and you kind of wonder, you're like, oh, is that going to come through later on to help develop the plot? Or why did the camera spend so much time on this? Why did it spend so much time on that? All these things coming together, it just makes for a good experience. But let's go ahead and talk about things that I did not like in the film, because as you can tell, at this point, I'm loving it so far. The director or the writer, he did a great job for the most part, but he does need to polish up his narrative for a little bit, as far as the storytelling is concerned, because there were just some points where a couple of points, not a few, just a couple, where I just did not understand what he was doing with the timeline. It just did not make sense to me. I mean, he was also trying to do something with some like warped sound effect in the camera imagery, where the film or the camera, or the image, gets really blurry. I wasn't feeling it at all. It was confusing. At one part in the film, I was like, okay, what the hell just happened? Did we go forward in time? Did we go back in time? Did this person teleport from one state to another? It didn't make any sense to me. Another thing is just, this is kind of a nitpick. I'm not a policeman. I'm not a detective, but I don't know, if I see someone bleeding out, acting irrational, I'm not just going to be chasing them down or chasing them down like, are you okay? What's wrong? Or just kind of looking at them with a dead stare. I'm going to call 911. And, I'm going to take a note right here in my review, because I need to put that down. There we go. I'm going to be calling 911 like, hey, we need an ambulance. It's just that right there. I'm like, there at certain points in time, there was not enough character involvement, to save the day, to seize the day, and that was very, very frustrating to me. Now, those are little nitpicks that I can get over. Now, guys, I really did love the film all the way up into the ending. I was saying to myself, man, this may be as good as Frequency. It may be even better. David Oyelowo may be able to get some award recognition with his performance in this film. I mean, it's just that good. Maybe not win, but it's just that good. But guys, while I did love everything up until the end of the film was absolutely horrible. I hated the ending. It made no goddamn sense to me. It clocked me out of the film. I was frustrated beyond belief. The cast in this film is great. Like I said, we have Storm Reid, David Oyelowo, Brian Tyree Henry, and we also have Mr. Bubblegum himself, Mykelti Williamson. Now, he really didn't do much throughout the whole film until the end, but his character turned into a laughable, hot garbage pile of mess. I don't understand. Throughout the whole movie, he's acting normal, but for some reason, I don't want to even say his performance, but it was his character. The way they wrote his character was atrocious. I just really don't understand. I mean, it is if for some reason someone snapped and he just started going, Now, I'm not trying to be funny at all, guys. I'm not exaggerating. That is honestly how I feel. He might as well have done what I just did for you the past 15 to 20 minutes. While I was at the edge of my seat, when the film was trying to conclude and get to its climax, I'm just sitting there like, did you see this shit? Like, seriously, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then all of a sudden, just the whole plot of the story, they just threw all logic and reason out the window as if it doesn't even exist anymore. Like it just went to another freaking dimension or something like that. I was just screaming into my head, what are you doing, character? Call 911. That's all you have to do. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It just, I want to just spoil it for you, but I really don't, because it just comes out of nowhere. It just makes no sense. And then there's just really no payoff. Films like this, to where you just have some crazy event happening, you always say to yourself, okay, it may be good up until some point, but how is this thing going to end? Like I said, the ending was horrible. There was no payoff. It is if the characters or one of the main characters that you was in love with the whole entire movie, they got no payoff, they got no reward. When it ended, it was as if the whole thing really didn't exist. It was just frustrating, and that wasn't the case with Frequency. And the Frequency, I felt that everybody, I felt that the film paid off. I felt that it answered all my questions. But that's not the case with Don't Let Go. There was too many unanswered questions. He tried to be just super intelligent with his plot, and it ended up being just over convoluted with a plot 10 times as thick as with a plot as thick as 10 phone books. It just didn't make sense, and it was completely unnecessary. You know, Jacob Estes' attempt of trying to be, you know, edgy and stunning and different and thrilling and exhilarating failed. Facepalm, just crash and burn horrible, to where it ruined the whole film to me. And so I mean, I really can't even recommend it for you. If it wasn't for the past 15 or 20 minutes, I probably would have given this film like an 8.5 out of 10 or something like that. But I can't do that now because I could not stand the freaking ending. So if I had to rate Don't Let Go out of a 1 out of 10, I have to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Yes, a 5.5 out of 10. And that's really just, like I said, the past 15 or 20 minutes. And in my book, my rating scale, a 6 out of 10, or 6 out of 10 is the lowest for a passing grade. So this just does not get a passing grade in my book. Sorry, guys, just got to be honest. But I want to know, what did you think about the film? Have you seen it already? Have you not seen it? Do you want to see it? Please let me know down below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think about my review? Like I said, what did you think about the movie? Let me know. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Also, please hit that subscribe button. Please help me reach my next milestone of 20,000 subscribers. Guys, thank you for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. Also, you can look me up on social media. But guys, before you go, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Don't Let Go, starring David Oyelowo. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Mykelti Williamson, and that's just my opinion. Peace.